Welcome to another Cars and Zebras Thanksgiving special. In the United States, on the fourth Thursday of November, we like to give thanks to everything that we have. And generally, the day is spent with family, eating lots of food, and watching football. And no, it's not that dumb type of football. Look at them, idiots. I'd much rather stare at big, strong men in tight pants. Wait, what? But here at Cars and Zebras, we do things a little bit different. We don't stuff our faces with a fat, obnoxious bird. Oh no. We like to celebrate some fucking drag racing! And on tonight's menu, we've got some high-octane gasoline, some V8 power, and some fucking muscle! 1974 Plymouth Duster. And I know what you're thinking, that car's about as exciting as the Hulk Hogan sex tape, but hear me out, it is absolutely awesome. This was actually the first year for the 360 V8 in the Duster. The 340, well, that's gone. Now, it's not the first year of service for the 360. That had been used since 1971 in trucks, vans, and even the Plymouth Fury, but it didn't see service in the Duster until 1974. People loved that 340, so they were a little bit skeptical of the 360 in the Duster, and therefore it didn't sell that well, but more on that later. Let's do a comparison. The bore for the 1973 340 V8 was 404. Now compare that to the 360, which was actually slightly smaller at 4 inches even. And then, not unlike your host, the 340 had a rather short stroke, only 331. That allowed that little V8 to rev like crazy and make some really good high-end power. And then comparatively, the stroke in the 360 was more of the John Holmes variety, and it was 358. So could the 360 rev like the previous 340? No, but it did make a lot more torque. So why don't we dive into the numbers? The 340 from 1973 was rated 240 horsepower, but the 360 was 245. And then the big change is the torque. The 340 from the previous year was only rated 295 pound-feet, but that 360 was 320. And keep in mind, those are net numbers. So for 1974, that was pretty impressive, especially for a small block. Another gripe from people is that the compression ratio for this engine was only 8.4 to 1. But keep in mind, in pure stock racing, you can legally raise the compression ratio by 1.5 points. So if this thing's sitting at 9.9 to 1, you better believe it's gonna be a rocket. So I would have to compare this car to sweet potato casserole. It might not look that appealing, but once you finally take a chance and shove it in your mouth, it's pretty darn good. That's what she said. The 3-speed manual transmission was still standard in these cars, but most people opted for the 4-speed, or like our featured car, the 3-speed automatic. Outback 321 gears were included with this package, but 355 were optional, and you know what? That's what this car features. Most people realize that Dusters are fairly light cars, and this one's no different. With its driver included, it weighed in at 3,490 pounds. Keep in mind that a Roadrunner from the same year with a 360 had a curb weight of nearly 3,800 pounds. Ugh. Disgust me. The Duster 360 was a fantastic deal in 1974. It started out at only $3,288, plus that automatic transmission would get you out the door about $3,500. Adjusting for inflation, today that would only be $21,157. And geez, with the current inflation, that's about the going rate for a Thanksgiving dinner, so not that bad. Even with that fantastic price, as I previously mentioned, the Duster 360 was not a big seller. There were 281,000 total Dusters produced that year, and only 3,969 were of the Duster 360 variety. CarCraft magazine tested one of these cars in August of 1974. With a 3-speed automatic and a 321 gear, they were able to manage a 1460 at 95 miles per hour. If you ask me, that's pure gravy. 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle Super Sport. And if the Duster was the sweet potato casserole, then this one's definitely the biscuits. They look good, they smell good, and both give me butterflies in my stomach because your boy got gluten issues. And no, this car isn't the fire-breathing LS6 454. This one's got the base engine L34, and yes, it says 396, but for 1970, it was actually 402 cubic inches. Compression ratio is 10.25 to 1, and it was rated 350 gross horsepower and 415 pound-feet of gross torque. So is this a screamer like the LS6 454? No. I would say it's more of a gentle scolding, which I also find oddly attractive. And if you thought your little rocks couldn't tingle anymore, well, let's take a look inside. Yes, this is a 1970 Chevelle big block with a 4-speed manual. Out back, you'll find the same rear gearing as the Duster, 355, but the weight is definitely different. This Chevelle, with the driver included, weighed in the day of the race at 4,022 pounds. Maybe he threw my ex-girlfriend in the back seat for a half-ton of extra traction. Am I right? The 70 Chevelle was also a great deal. The Malibu V8 started out at $2,809. Super Sport package was $445. That 4-speed manual, $184, and the G80 rear was $42. It gives you a grand total of $3,480, and adjusting for inflation, today that'd be $26,728. And with a price like that, in 1970, this car was a huge seller. There were 51,455 402 V8 equipped cars sold. Car Life magazine tested one of these Chevelles with a 3-speed automatic and a conservative 331 rear gear. It ran the quarter mile in 15.5 seconds at 90 miles an hour. Let's check out the races and see which one of these cars turns out to be a giant turkey.
Super Sport 396 Chevelle. He drove it here 15 times. He does a trailer. He drove here from Indiana. Close up, folks, but the winner of this one is the Super Sport to the right.
And in the first round, it's the Chevelle that takes home the win, running 14.22 seconds at 98.70 miles per hour. In the other lane, the Duster ran 14.70 seconds at 93.07 miles per hour. Let's see what happens in round 2. In the second round, the Chevelle got a red light, giving the automatic win to the Duster, who ran 14.60 seconds at 93.57 miles per hour. Meanwhile, the Chevelle had traction issues and ran 15.13 seconds at 98.55 miles per hour. With this best of 3 tied 1-all, let's check out that final round.
I've been told this may be a bye run. We'll see how they run. But in any case, Seth Jones of Marion, Indiana, got the 74 Duster 360 with the first year for the 360, replacing the 340. Mark Clark also the winner of this round the Duster rather.
And in the final round, it's the Duster that takes home the win, running a blistering 13.84 second quarter mile at 99.78 miles per hour. In the other lane, the Chevelle ran its best 14.17 ET at 98.89 miles per hour. And I have to say, the Chevelle owner in this round had a .008 reaction time. Thanks to the owners for bringing out these cars. Absolutely awesome seeing them on the drag strip. Catch you guys at the next one.